I've been kicked out of my near every bar around. I've been locked up for driving 120 through town. I've been shot at and cut with a knife, messing around with another man's wife. But other than that, we ain't nothing, just good old boys. Threw my boss out the window and got fired for my last job. Hot wired a city truck and turned it over in the mayor's yard. Beat my brother-in-law half to death. Lost $20 on his football bet. But other than that, we ain't nothing, just good old boys.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Wade and Carter Show. Monday. I don't know what the hell that means.
It's the Monday of the Goliad Rodeo. This Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. No, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yep, slack on Friday.
Yeah. I don't even know what that means. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Sunday's the great day. Afternoon matinee, 2 o'clock. Better get your tickets now.
Cowboy Church, the whole church and the bleachers.
There you go.
Friday,
you know what? They have
Saturday
those
night.
great rodeo announcers. And that's the way the bucking stock today really looking.
There's the poster.
Yeah. You want me to get it?
I think we just covered it all.
I thought we did.
Yep. Tickets in advance. Last year, I believe, at some point they closed the gates on either Friday night or Saturday and couldn't let anybody else in. They were jam packed.
I always love that. We play like rodeo bingo when we're there. Ash and I usually go together on Sunday, and it's kind of like give him a round of applause because that's all that cowboy's going to get this week. That kind of stuff is really cool.
Yeah.
Really enjoy.
He's
if you
loading his saddle and getting back in the truck.
Right. Even if you don't like, they never say he's popping uppers over in chute number 3. They don't ever do. You see these cowboys get off they get thrown off that bull and they get up there just like, they look like they're strung out on X at some nightclub. It takes guts and a little bit
a lot of opioids.
Oh yeah, you got to be a nut job to get on some of those animals. But that's one thing about it. The bucking stock, or the rough stock, if you will, is amazing at this rodeo. It really is. Yeah. It really is a
Steve
better
Smith
rodeo than going to Houston if you want to watch the rodeo.
Well,
Houston's like a show.
Yeah, I mean they've I mean, I'm not taking anything away. They get the best cowboys and cowgirls in the world, but you get to see 5 of them in an event. Then you get to see another 5 that night, because everybody wants to watch Reba or George or whoever's on stage,
as opposed to having 10 guys out there.
That's what always amazes me too when I went, and I've only been to the Houston Rodeo once, but it amazed me.
It's a very small sample.
Yeah,
you be passing any type of judgment.
But now that I watch it on TV and I see this play out over time.
Commander, verify. Give me Mike 4 there. Commander, can you verify that if you're keeping score at home, one sampling is kind of.
I lived in Houston for 5 years, and I've never been to the Houston Rodeo.
And people like you put businesses out of business.
But I'll go to the Goliad Rodeo every year.
But I ordered a T-shirt on Amazon and had it delivered right to my apartment.
That's right.
I went to Houston and didn't go to the rodeo. I lived in Houston, didn't go to the rodeo. Is that the T-shirt he got?
That's right.
But you got 70,000 people in that stadium, and 35,000 of them don't show up until right before the concert begins.
Just so you know, that's the reason we didn't go.
That's exactly true. And I did read a deal the other day, and hats off to Rodeo Houston for promoting, give us your feedback. And this one guy said, look, I'll put up with the cruddy, overpriced food. I'll put up with, the rickety and loud carnival rides. I'll put up with all that. What I won't put up with is dropping $250 and it takes me 4 hours to get out of the parking lot. And there really is, everything exits onto Kirby. And then when you get out there, they're like, no, you go this way, only. And they're like putting their hand on their gun, like you will turn left. That's it. That's all you can do.
Just wait till those problems come to Victoria with our revamped community center located in a city, in a part of the city that has no real roads to get in and out of.
Well, you just get to go up and down North Street and you're, oh yeah.
Mark Kurtz, first one on the podium. David Glass, good morning. Scott Tomko, glad you're all joining us. Get
There
to the
you
rest of the
go.
roll call as soon as we get through today's Wade and Carter weather, brought to you by the great folks at AT Deerland Hayfeed and Ranch Services. We're huge in Ireland this morning.
Welcome to the. See, normally it would be 6 o'clock now,
True.
but now it's 7. So there. I mean, that matters. 43 degrees under clear skies, heading to a high today of 75. It's going to be a beautiful sunny day. Tomorrow, 50 to 79. Wednesday, 62 to 85. Thursday, 58 to 91. That's kind of a spread.
yeah.
Thursday, 91. I'm telling you, it ain't going to be 91 on Thursday, but I'm telling you that
Friday.
it's going to be sunny all
Yeah.
week.
And the weather looks really nice this coming weekend for UHV baseball and softball and the Goliad Rodeo. So get out and enjoy.
UHV softball now, baseball now, 22-3. Wow, pretty good baseball.
Not bad at all.
Yeah.
Ryan Hopping, good morning. Just missing out. Rena Scherer, Greg Garcia, Ricky King, Bobby Leister, Bobby Sparkman, Randy Langston, Sarah Elkins checking in, Linda Chris, Judge Posey, Michael
Judge.
Patton, Buddy Stavanoa, good morning, buddy. Paul Ebner, Tammy Keeling, Monty Howard, Wendy Hughes Garcia, Junior Samples, feeling better. Good to see you, Junior. Andrew Alvarez, good morning. Stephanie Connie, Kendra Douglas, Sherry Jacobs, Lisa Poole. Andrew says he avoided 610 the whole time.
Oh, yeah,
Rodeo
there's
was
no
in 10.
doubt.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Remember last year that cowboy rode his horse?
Yeah, he
And-
was there. He was there the other night when we were there. He was going to miss his check-in.
He was
and
stuck in traffic
He
on
got his
610,
horse
so he
off
got
the
his horse-
trailer and rode it into the rodeo. Very cool story.
Mark Zapata, Jared Glass, good morning. Rena Scherer says they're back home. So we
Good.
were
Welcome
big in
home.
Ireland. We're not anymore. Jarrett McCrugan checking in. Dottie Bitterly. Cowboy the other day was in the gate. I would think it was Friday night I was watching, and he was, can't remember if he was a calf roper or a steer wrestler, but his horse kept rearing up on him in the chute and finally threw him off.
He
And
shot it.
yes, after. But he just, it was funny. He just walks out the back gate. They move the horse. They move that horse out. He jumps on another horse,
It's awesome.
and then he broke the barrier.
There you have it.
So
I was going to say, Stavanoa keeps playing at such a high level, 22-3. You could lose him like to a place that's struggling, like Texas A&M off to an 8-5 start with the highest paid roster in baseball. But if he just hangs around, he can coach at A&M anyway.
yeah,
That's coming, folks. A&M Victoria. Can't wait. It's got a great sound to it. Even as a Texas grad, I'm yearning for A&M Victoria. So much to offer. So much for that institution, that conglomerate. By the way,
Glenn Hager, the
Hager.
new
our comptroller of public accounts about to become or tab to be. He's the lone finalist. That's
Yeah.
all such an academic joke.
yeah. Here's
He's
a
the guy.
statement from Comptroller Glenn Hager on being selected as the finalist for the position of chancellor.
Well,
of the
do
Texas
me a
A&M
favor. It's
University
only an
System.
hour show.
Yeah, I'm not going to
Don't read the whoops and the giggums and the whoop and the TU and the horns down. Don't read all that.
Look, P. Strauss. We're big. Where are we? Big in Louisville this morning.
Awesome.
Might be.
P. Strauss.
I agree with you 100%. I love flying in and out of Victoria. It's
Our airport
so
is
much
so
easier.
nice right now. They
And they want to make changes, and it's going to ruin.
well, we lost the grant, or we did not receive the grant, $30 million to renovate or redo our terminal.
Good.
No, I'd like to see it done. It could be a little bit more streamlined, but
I don't know how it's more streamlined
the
than showing
experience
up
is
at 5:45 to get on or 4:45 to get on a flight that starts boarding at 5:05.
yeah, it's an easy deal. Free parking. You fly right into Intercontinental, and I just always plan it that's where I'm going to have my layover. That's where I eat breakfast.
Yeah.
Where I have my layover.
Yeah.
Get an 8:00 flight out of Intercontinental. You can spend a quick $70 on 2 eggs and a piece of bacon. But you don't have, but you do it with a QR code. You don't have to actually speak to anybody. Everybody's just grumpy. They just
Muted
sit
the
there.
wrong mic. Sorry.
Yeah, they're all just sitting there. That's nice. They're all just sitting there looking at their phones, irritated.
I tend to watch people in the airport. People watching in the airport is probably second to none.
Good to have P. Strauss coming home.
Matt Boucher, good morning.
Got to get Matt over to the house.
So Glenn Hager, the lone finalist, should be appointed. There are some in academia going, why are we appointing another non-academic person to be the chancellor?
It's the dumbest thing ever.
I think it's worked out pretty well for you the last two times with Bob Gates and John Sharp.
John Sharp's certainly not an academic.
No. The opportunity to serve as the next chancellor of the Texas A&M University System is a tremendous honor, and I want to thank each of the regents for their confidence, yet more importantly, for their energy, passion, dedication, and constant commitment to excellence. Texas A&M University System will remain focused on our core values, increasing and improving student experiences, and expanding economic opportunities and services across our system and our state. I think if they didn't have 8 non-academic components to the system, they might lean more academia when they appoint this position, but the fact that they've got the Ag Extension Service and
all the research they do, dealing with the government. That's what he does.
And disaster relief is underneath A&M, is it not?
Yes, TDM.
Yeah. So
You notice that Gates came from a government background. Of course, Sharp has a government background. Hager, at first I thought that's interesting. When I first heard his name and knew that this was going to come about several months ago, we talked about it here long before it was announced. Hager was a guy that I had on the short list and the fast track to being the next governor. He's a young man, and I thought that one of these days when Wheels decided to go do something different, that Hager would be the guy. But this move doesn't derail that possibility, right? Because
might strengthen it because
the
he
Aggies
would really get the education folks to coalesce.
right, and the Aggies vote for Aggies. Let's face it. It's a great public awareness deal for him. And hats off to Glenn Hager. I know that he's, I think, very highly respected.
I do too.
And I hope that he does, great
I think he's
work.
done a fairly good job as comptroller. I think he probably could have pushed harder for
tax cuts.
and,
I agree.
And property.
Tammy Keeling asked, she puts
relief.
Wheels, question mark. Wheels is a code word for Governor Abbott. That's mostly well known. That's his code name, Wheels.
I think that was the name of one character on Degrassi, the original Degrassi, who was in a wheelchair.
Yeah, that's not like
Exactly. It was
that's not like
derogatory.
no, not at all. No, that's his code name, Wheels.
Yeah. So, let's see what's happening to the north of us. Mark Carney will be the next Canadian Prime Minister, at least for a little while. He's expected to turn around and call an election right away.
Well, what does that mean?
Well, they've got until October 20th, I think, is actually when the election has to be held by law.
So how is
But you can call one
interim?
earlier. Yes, more or less. He's
So
the interim.
Trudeau's really stepping aside now. He cried the other day. I saw him on TV crying.
I know Jarrett McCrugan's listening, so I'd like Jarrett to, if he can give us a call, 361-894-4020, to give us a little bit on the Canadian. Here's the problem I have with that. I was reading the New York Times yesterday morning. I spoke a little bit about this on Bill Posey's show this morning. And the New York Times characterized Mark Carney and Krista Freeland as they were the two front runners as centrists. I don't believe there's been a centrist in the Liberal Party in Canada since Paul Martin was the leader and the prime minister way back in the 90s or early 2000s. That's how long it's been since the Liberals have had a centrist, and even then probably center left. But to characterize Freeland as a centrist when she has been the finance minister of the last 5 years of this Trudeau government was a joke by the New York Times. She's as far left tax and control type of person that you could imagine.
So how did 152,000 party members vote, and Carney is elected with 86% of the vote, but this is like a stopgap? Is this as if Trudeau goes, I'm really leaving now, I'm going to the Bahamas, and y'all need a leader? So this guy's just like the interim until we have an election in October?
Yeah, I think the last time this happened, Kim Campbell was the first female prime minister of Canada after Brian Mulroney stepped aside, and the Conservative Party elected her to be their leader. And
Well,
that
do
was
we
dismal.
expect Carney to be like the front runner or a name in the hat to be the official next Trudeau, next prime minister?
Yeah, he'll be.
This is
he'll
a
be,
quirky
he'll be the-
system,
he'll-
isn't it? A little bit?
He'll be the liberal. I mean, for outsiders who don't understand it, yes.
Well, from the outside, you can understand it. From the inside, you simply can't explain it. Canada, the Texas A&M of countries. I don't understand it. So why doesn't Trudeau just run out his term? And why didn't Trudeau just call for an election and have it in May?
Because Trudeau was facing a vote of no confidence, and all his cabinet members, 5 of them resigned, and basically the rest told him to step down.
So there were
that's
a
why.
bunch of harumphs, and so begrudgingly and sadly and tearfully, he steps down.
Yeah.
And they go, Carney, 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 not Freeland.
No.
So Carney's in, and he gets to manage all the headaches and hopefully get elected again in October. Now, who will run against him from the conservative side?
Pierre Poilievre, the conservative leader, who was
From Ontario?
No, he's from Alberta. Well, I think he both places. He's grew up in Calgary, and
Is he like Emmett Alvarez? He has homes in both, just doesn't know exactly.
well, he lives in Ottawa because he's the official leader of the opposition.
Were you on Bill Posey this morning?
Yeah.
It's funny they didn't call me to be on Bill Posey this morning
This is why
because I don't know
I'm
anything
trying to
about
explain
Canada.
it to you now, and you're not grasping it.
What I find interesting is I guarantee you if I took a poll, 86% of these people would say they could not care less. Folks, Went Services for all your generator needs. Reach out to Went. Don't give me that fisheye.
I didn't
Went
give you a
Services
black eye in a minute.
for. I went to an election and a hockey game broke out. Went Services, turnkey generator service. Went fantastic, just great. The chopping block had center cut, like beautiful ribeyes. HR Mallory, I apologize, my brother. He says, don't insult A&M like that. That's low, even for a Longhorn. We're going to make College Station the 51st state.
Jared says he's the first non-elected member of parliament appointed to PM.
There you go.
Yeah. Talk about, yeah. But Trump's the guy that wants to circumvent. Yeah. Anyway, never mind.
Wow. Chopping block for all your beef, chicken, sausage. They have great fresh ground hamburger, great breakfast sausage, chorizo. They do it all. Brand Us, amazing work. I get more and more impressed the more I visit with our man, Commander Cody. And he's just like, oh, well, that's simple. You just do this and this and this and this and then boom, boom. There you go. There you have it. And it's like all of a
It's
sudden.
real easy for him.
It's real easy for him because he's not afraid to get into your computer and mix things up. I'm always afraid of like, I want to get back to this main screen. How do I do that? It's the fear that drives me into mediocrity. Atzenoffer and Atzenoffer.com. Let Atzenoffer help you see the USA in a Chevrolet. Summer's coming. Summer is almost upon us.
The Boudin is back at Chopping Block.
There you go. New Chevy pickup, Silverado. Get after it. White Trash Services, White Trash Site Services. Friendly, family, great run business, great folks. Reach out to 550-1826 for your next trash need. If you want to do some spring cleaning, get a head start. They'll drop off a dumpster at your place. Drop it off on a Friday, pick it up on a Monday or Tuesday. You've got time to load it up with tons of garbage, and it's in your garage. How many times you take stuff out there and go, I'm going to put that on a shelf later. It's just sitting in the corner of your garage. It's got to go. It's got to go. Palace Bingo, Palace where friends meet friends. 13th.
Yep, this Thursday.
This Thursday, the 13th. Did you get that note from Lisa Poole trying to like Lisa? I guess Lisa thinks we have like 8 listeners. Like, you know, I'm just going to say, can we make that Wednesday? No, we can't. It's Thursday, the 13th. Get in there. Cheswick Furniture, Cheswick and Love, make your house a home.
That's what works for our schedules.
Get in and see. Get in and see.
I mean, we love that people show up, but if we can't be there, then it's really not
Just
Wade and Carter
doesn't
night. It's just
work.
another night of bingo.
Just another night. But by the way, it's fun every night.
yeah.
It's fun every night.
Yeah. Andrew Alvarez says, you mean it's like Kamala Harris was the first non-primary winning presidential candidate? It's exactly like that.
It's exactly like that. But that really irritated a lot of Americans. And apparently Canadians are like, this is fine. This is progress.
Well,
we got rid of Trudeau.
Canadians tend to like government.
I think that's a fair statement.
They tend to like world government.
They're still one click closer to the monarchy than we are.
And here's the problem I have with Mark Carney, because it's interesting. They're giving him, he navigated Canada through the 2008 global financial crisis.
That's a lot.
He was the governor of the Bank of Canada, or whatever the term is. And then he went and he was the same equivalent in England at the Bank of England. And they made a big deal. Oh, he's the first non-Englander to head up the Bank of England, and he navigated England through Brexit. Last I checked, they hadn't fully exited the EU. So what did he really navigate them through?
Right.
In the 2008 global crisis, Canada wasn't hit as hard as the U.S. because Canadian banking rules and laws do not allow lending of all and all the derivatives that led to the collapse of our housing market. And Carney didn't put those rules in place. They'd been in place. So, but they can't ever explain that. All they say, listen to Reuters here. Just see if it was a Reuters ad, or maybe it wasn't Reuters. It might have been NPR. Carney knows what it's like to weather tough economic storms. He served as governor of the Bank of Canada during the 2008 financial crisis and later became the first non-British person to be appointed as governor of the Bank of England, where he oversaw the bank's post-Brexit transition.
That's weird. He's not English.
Every single story I read, except for that one from Reuters, New York Times, all had basically the same sort of paragraph about him, but they don't go into detail as to what he actually did.
He's a genius.
To weather the economic storms or to see the transition post-Brexit.
The king is dead. Long live the king.
What that speaks to me is he's a globalist. And he's probably funded by George Soros.
There you go.
So I don't know.
Randy Langston, Mr. Positive, 83 days till hurricane season.
They call him Carnage Carney in the UK. Yeah, and I'll say this, that's one reason Trump was mad at Canada. And I still haven't quite figured out why. But I think I was reading a couple things over the weekend.
China.
Yeah, there is some things to China and the corruption and the influence that China's having on Canada and backdooring steel into this country, which is a legitimate concern, and backdooring spies and other China stuff. So
Thank you,
there's
Commander.
that. But I don't believe, I mean, if Trump thinks that Canada is the problem for all the fentanyl and illegal immigration, he's off base.
Stuart Martin with a solid point. There have been 0 hurricanes on record in the Gulf of America. I expect my insurance rates to drop.
That would be nice, wouldn't it?
It would be nice.
Yep,
It's funny. Insurance is a one-way street, right? So like if you never have a claim, well, then you're just due. And that means you're more likely to have problems. I don't know.
Amazon facility coming to Victoria, distribution center. I don't think it's going to be big like the big ones, but it's still only something you and I've called about for our leaders in this region to bring to Victoria for 5, 6, 7 years.
Yeah. No, I think
finally coming to fruition.
I think everybody
skimpy on the details though.
Everybody who has a chance to get elected for the next 2 or 3 cycles is going to take credit for, bringing Amazon here.
No kidding.
On my watch, Amazon came to Victoria. I think it's a big deal. I think they've announced it. They're excited about it.
Yeah, it's going to bring. It'll bring some.
It's something we have said for a long time that Victoria is a great distribution hub. Packages will be sent to the station for fulfillment centers.
and then they'll process them basically for delivery in this region.
What
So-
they call last mile delivery. It'd be like to come out to you. And I imagine they'll go probably from here to El Campo and here to, Hallettsville, Shiner. It makes perfect sense. I bet it's going to be a massive structure. I was telling you guys that over the weekend we spent some time in the Houston area, and like I was literally out in the middle of nowhere, just nowhere. And all of a sudden I saw a building, tilt wall going up. They got the little things holding the building up. No exaggeration. This building was 600 feet across and 1,000 feet deep. I mean, and it's in the middle of nowhere. You could put Victoria Mall in this place 5 times over. It's just incredible. Just the disparity or the difference in just the sheer volume of things in a city like Houston. You find an industrial park and it's got 100,000 square foot buildings, and there's like 12 of them just scattered out across this field. Crazy.
So apparently Columbia University had a student, grad student there, from a Palestinian grad student who apparently was a prominent role figure in the protests against Israel at Columbia. These are the same protests at Columbia that scared Jewish
were peaceful,
students.
and then they took over a building. Remember that?
Yeah.
Because they're just good people. They
Scared-
took over a building at Columbia.
Scared Jewish students to not want to go to school anymore.
Then when UT said, we're not going to have that on our campus, then we were viewed as, fighting free speech because we didn't allow terroristic takeover of our building. Did you see what the president did over the weekend on that? Is that part of this story?
Well,
Are
I'm
you
kind of
getting to
leading
that?
into that. So apparently he was taken out of his university-owned residence Saturday night. Mahmoud Khalil,
Just trying to get his life straight.
whose attorney says she spoke to ICE agents who said that he was arrested and they were taking away his student. Here's what I don't understand. Because according to his attorney, he's got his permanent resident status, so he's got his green card,
Right?
but he was here on a student visa. Don't need a student visa
If you've got
if
a
you've
green
got a
card.
green card.
What's
so they,
interesting
so they
to me
revoked
is-
that, and they said they will revoke his green card and permanent resident status as well. But here now, as I read more into this story,
Send him back to the desert.
apparently his wife is an American citizen who was 8 months pregnant. I'm wondering if there's the rub.
I don't know.
Might have got married just to get his permanent resident status.
Well, what's
I
interesting,
don't.
the president over the week, Friday, decided to not fund $400 million in research money earmarked for Columbia University, a major research institution, as are all the schools in the South, and cited the reason being their anti-Semitic position on things. He deemed that the university was at least complicit, at best apathetic. You'll recall that people were walking across the college campus and people were saying, "Death to the Jews, death to the Jews." And Columbia said, that's just freedom of speech. So your president said, guess what? That's going to cost you 400 big ones. And yet, Ash, it's President Trump who's supposed to be the Nazi, the fascist, the anti-Jew president. You know, the guy that stands with Israel, the guy that said just recently, and it was reinforced over the weekend by a cabinet member, he's not messing around
No.
when he says Hamas better fall in line or we're gonna take care of Hamas. Now, this is a guy that does not like war, but he does support Israel. Wow. That's some sports trivia there. That bails us out. Jokic. Jokic.
Oh, yeah. Nikola Jokic.
Jokic, 30 points, 20 rebounds, and 20 assists in a single game. That's what you call a one-man band.
First time ever.
Because you got to do a lot to score 30 points, but then to also pick up 20 assists while you're grabbing 20 boards sounds like a lot of breakaway fast breaks.
Well,
I wonder if they
probably
won
is.
the game.
You can probably find out if I click this link.
Wow. First ever 30-20-20. That's like going 40-40 in baseball.
Beat them 149-141. The
There
NBA's
you
finally become the ABA.
Absolutely.
And
It's
nobody-
all about
and
scoring.
Nobody cares.
It took overtime to get to those kind of numbers. Myles Garrett, you recall Myles Garrett fighting Texas Aggie. Whoop. There you go. Came from, where was he at? Cincinnati? He was from Cleveland.
Plays for Cleveland.
He just,
Cowboys, didn't he? Or was he a
no,
Texan before that?
I don't think so. Played for Cleveland forever.
Has he?
Hall of Famer. He's certainly a Hall of Famer.
Oh, yeah. First round pick by the Cleveland Browns.
And in 2017, out of A&M, coming off a lackluster season there.
Resigns in Cleveland. Huge
Right.
deal.
But now wait. Oh, he's staying there?
Yes.
Because he recently came out and said, I want to go win championships. The two sides have
Apparently not.
two sides have agreed on a contract extension that'll pay the defensive end an average salary of $40 million a year over 4 years and has $123.5 million in guaranteed money.
And includes a no trade clause.
Very interesting because that makes him the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL. And he is a true total game disruptor along the likes of Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the Bills re-signed QB Josh Allen to a 6-year, $330 million deal with the largest ever guarantee of $250 million. That's a lot of money for a quarterback that hasn't won crap.
But think about it. That is a serious long-term commitment, in their opinion, to excellence by the Buffalo Bills because there were some questions just going into this last season. If Josh Allen was the guy that was going to get him to the next level, of course, he ends up being an MVP finalist. And
He's a good quarterback.
He's a good quarterback. You know, that
He
guy
was the
like,
MVP.
oh, he was? Yeah. There you go. This year?
Yeah.
I did not know that because he doesn't play for Dallas, so I didn't care.
He'll be 34 when the final year of the extension begins because he was already signed through 2028. So
The reason the money matters, if he goes out,
only Dak has a higher average annual value.
wow, if he goes, which is just shows you how bad things are. If he goes out and shreds a knee and is destroyed and can't play, they still owe him $250 million. Most don't have that kind of a guarantee because football's a short-lived game, even though quarterbacks can typically last more than 5 or 6 years.
Listen to these 4 quarterbacks on this list, according to ESPN, that have the most guaranteed money as part of their contract. Josh Allen, $250 million. Deshaun Watson, $230 million.
Terrible player.
Dak Prescott, $229.
Overrated
Joe
player.
Burrow, $219.
Good player. Dak Prescott.
Do you have confidence in
overrated.
any of those 4 leading you to a Super Bowl except for maybe Josh Allen?
No, I don't. I don't think Burrow can get you there. Thank you, Sherry. But actually, the whoop was actually Ash, and he'll do it like on command. Fighting Texas Aggies. Whoop. See, he can do it.
Katina Arterberry, good morning. Melissa Hansen checking in. Let's see if I missed anybody else. Stuart Martin's in. I think I got everybody.
There you go.
Good. Glad you're all here. Glad you're joining us. Jose Urquidy for Astros fans. First State Bank Astros update. They lose yesterday to the Marlins. No big deal.
Nobody cares. That doesn't matter.
Urquidy
Jeremy Pena hit a home run. That's more important than the Astros losing that meaningless game.
23 wins in his 4 years with the Astros. Tommy John, after blowing out his arm last year, signs a $1 million deal with the Detroit Tigers. He broke into the majors when A.J. Hinch was the manager of the Astros, so there's a connection there, and can make about another $7 million in incentives if he. Most of it, I think $3 million of that is based on the number of starts he makes. So almost half of his incentives will be paid to him if he's somewhat durable and can make a bunch of starts. So
Over the weekend, we
liked
learned that Garrett Cole, I always had a soft spot for Garrett Cole because he was so competitive here, and he was such a great, him and Verlander, he's just such a great player. Yeah. And I cussed him when he decided to go to the Yankees, but he basically said, I've always wanted to be a Yankee, and okay. But he apparently facing, I think at least really potentially, Tommy John surgery, which means he'll be out for the whole year. And, maybe that gives Alex Bregman a chance to win the AL East. I don't know. But I think he's expected. Cole is, quote unquote, very concerned about his elbow. So at any rate, right, if I'm saying to you, could be nothing, could be Tommy John, you're not pitching anytime soon.
No.
There's the problem.
No. So Alexander Ovechkin, 9 shy of setting the record for the most goals scored in NHL history. So
he could pass up the great one.
Could pass him up this year. Yep. The OV
Is
watch
Gretzky
is
the
on.
holder?
Yeah. 894. Ovechkin's at 886.
Do we want that to happen? Records are meant to be broken, but is Ovechkin on the pantheon of great hockey players? How many people are between Gretzky as the Michael Jordan of hockey? How many people are between Gretzky and Ovechkin?
Gretzky, obviously there. Mario Lemieux.
Oh, yeah.
Gordie Howe.
Old Gordy.
Bobby Orr.
Bobby. So you're going way back to find those guys.
Couple of them.
Lemieux's modern era.
Mark Messier probably up there.
Messier. Like if you said, knowing what you know now.
But he's also got 1,600 career points. So it's not like he's a slouch, but.
So he's not greedy with the puck. You have to pass it to get points, right?
Yeah. A lot of his assists are off rebounds, let's be honest. He's taken a lot of shots, but I don't know.
Is he on a good team?
Yeah, Washington's got a chance to win the cup this year. They're playing really good, so there you go. So just thought that was interesting for the two hockey fans that tune in. Me
and the 1,500 or so Canadians that listen every morning.
Secret Service shooting a guy up outside the White House yesterday.
Good. I'm glad they're doing their job. What happened? What did the guy do? Oh, he was an armed man near the White House. I've been there. You're an idiot. Okay? You just don't walk around with a handgun in D.C. Was he carrying an assault-style rifle?
Brandishing a firearm.
No, there you go. Put him down.
Shot near the intersection of 17th and F Street Northwest.
The day prior, local police reported a quote-unquote suicidal individual possibly traveling to Washington from Indiana.
Then they spotted that vehicle or a vehicle with that person and matching a description on foot. So this guy wanted to die by police.
Sure.
He wanted suicide by cop.
There you go. Wish granted. Next.
No, he's in the hospital.
Oh.
Yeah, wasn't that good. It must have been Capitol Police.
Right. And in other news, 5 Secret Service agents have committed suicide following. Unbelievable. People believe anything.
Absolutely. What's up with all these leftist idiots?
Is that redundant?
Maybe.
Hi, Torrin Bales.
Maybe.
Andrew Alvarez, somewhat confused. The hockey 2 minutes.
Yeah, it was a little longer today. What's with all these leftist idiots? And I would go so far as to say that if January 6th was an insurrection, then these people need to be charged with terrorism. Why are they attacking Tesla dealerships? You've seen these stories?
No, I have not. Still just criminal. The left is really in a quandary. They've got those electric vehicles. And
destroying dealers, destroying vehicles, lighting fires.
Setting them on fire.
Don't forget, these are the people that couldn't wait to get a Tesla and shame you into not driving a Tesla.
Tesla dealer Manhattan protest.
Now they don't like Teslas because, Elon Musk.
It's so dumb.
It is dumb. Molotov cocktails being thrown through windows.
And yet Doge doing such a great job. Over the weekend, they decided to not fund a study to study What was it? There were a couple of things they did this last weekend. Commander, help us out. Give us the facts. Nothing but the facts. I was working the day trip out of Central. Doge found something just recently that I went, nuh-uh. Really?
$80 million in wasteful spending at the Department of Defense. $1.9 million for holistic diversity, equity, and inclusion transformation and training. $6 million to the University of Montana to strengthen American democracy by bridging divides.
$6 million. Feed the people, and you won't have near the problems with democracy.
No kidding. Put that money into the meals you're feeding, or give that money to our military folks. $3.5 million by the Defense Human Resources Activity to support DEI groups. $1.6 million to the University of Florida to study the social and institutional detriments of vulnerability and resilience to climate hazards in the African Sahel.
Come on, man. That is not where I want my tax dollars to go. You know, I think the reason this stuff so resonates with me is day in, day out. I am not in any way noticeably affected by the federal government. I don't rely on them for anything that resembles my income. Yes, I'm affected because they tax the crap out of me, but I've gotten used to that. I'm numb to that. And I've always been supportive of the extortionistic spending on the Department of Defense. I've always accepted that we spend a bunch of money. When I was a kid, Ash, we had a guy down here named Eddie Childs. He owned the Western Company. Every morning, his live spot sponsored like the news on KVIC or KNAL back in the day. And he would say, I want the government to do three things: balance the budget, protect our shores well, and leave me the hell alone. And he's spot on. So these people that are all bent out of shape, these leftist idiots, again, redundancy.
Who didn't want funding for wars.
No,
but they're going to complain about this, right?
And they don't want Doge involved in anything. You can't explain to me this stuff. The studying of transgender mice or transgenic mice, who cares? Not with my tax dollars.
Well, it's interesting that last week, President Trump said Doge will make recommendations on the cuts.
Yeah.
To the Doge committee.
But they have the committee on committees, and Elon is hosting a bake sale
to try to restore some of that money. But there's what really didn't get reported. All that's reported is Doge is cutting, Doge is cutting, Doge is cutting. No, they're going to make recommendations as to what gets cut. Right?
Absolutely.
I think we have a ne'er-do-well out in the green room.
A troublemaker. We could get him in here.
We could.
Let's take a quick break, and that gives him time to walk straight in front of the cameras with no issues.
If he's listening and paying attention. Folks,
USA Concrete Coatings, 578-HOME. 578-HOME. Charlie Garcia and his team will come out, sand it, seal it, stain it, paint it, whatever you need done to concrete. And they also can put down a tough as nails polyurethane coat that won't
crack, stick, peel, or fade.
There you go. Veracruz Restaurant. It's Monday. Yep. Get back in for the best Mexican food in town. It's not all about Caldo Wednesday. Today's a great day to be in Veracruz. Best guac, best queso, best hot sauce. It is fantastic. Allen's Wrecker Service, 578-6300. Allen's is your go-to toe-to. Let Allen help you if you get in a bind. Maybe, ladies or gentlemen, maybe you just need, or Puerto Rican family, maybe you just need a jump. Maybe you just need some jumper cables. Allen's will come out there and help you.
Dollar Floor Store. Get in there today. You've got till the end of the month to save 15% up to a total of $500 off your bill.
Absolutely.
They're
fantastic.
Awesome. Right
Great
there.
Folks.
Yep.
Super friendly. Trying to make a splash in our community. Go give them a shot. Paravita Wellness, get in and get healthy. Vita Cafe, about to open, on the cusp of providing great meals. Do what?
It's right on the edge
On the edge.
of opening.
There you go. They're close.
Closer than they've ever been.
There you go. It's like a Jewish honeymoon.
Randy Langston says we have to tread carefully that we don't go totalitarian. I'm not sure if he's.
It's talking about the
Is-
United States.
Yeah, I think
Nah, it's not even close.
Is he referring to all of the comments on the? Is that just tongue in cheek?
I think he's being
on the
tongue-in-cheek.
Doge.
Yeah,
because
the-
everybody says
Everybody's upset because they think that we're about to be a dictatorship. Trump is as far from a dictator as you'll ever find.
Well, what's really funny with that is 80 million in wasteful spending, but all they ever tell you, and until the Doge came along and you saw this crap that we just outlined.
that's just the
We've
tip.
got to increase the defense budget, right? And nobody's ever against that.
No, but because you can't be against it, right? Because it's kind of like they say about law enforcement. You can't look at it as an expense. You have to look at it as an investment. If you say no, then you're not being very good. Junior Sample says, you have a ne'er-do-well? He goes, I'm at home. How can it be me? Well, I'll show you how it can be you right there. Bam. Boom. Right there. Our friend Andy Rokovich. Good
Howdy.
morning, sir. How are
Morning.
you?
Good, guys. How are y'all?
Everything going okay?
Yes, sir. It's going great.
We can hear you. We can see you. Let the people
Good.
at home
Howdy.
Yeah, you can look
Got
at
a good
them.
hat on
straight
today.
at them.
Yeah.
And I brought you guys a hat for your background.
Oh, nice. And ice.
Yeah,
hat.
I would bring you a Rokovich hat, but we got to win
No,
first.
absolutely. Look at that ice. It's all blacked out.
A little
ice.
incognito.
That
Yeah.
is very cool.
That was straight off the guy that raided that student at Columbia University, I guess.
Yeah. Oh,
Mark-
yeah. I was in there with them.
I
Nice.
will put this in the background. My fear is if I wore this hat, I'd get arrested for impersonating, an officer.
I've been wearing them all the time.
Right. Well, wow. Tell us what's going on. How can we help
Well, guys,
promote democracy in our country?
Thursday is our launch party coming up. It's going to be a pretty big event. It's going to be pretty crucial for VISD. We got two races. Well, Kathy Bell's unopposed, but we got two real races going on. District 1 or District 7 has Mickey Costella, Christian West, and Josh Moore. Three good guys, really going to make a difference. And I know the current board has a lot of good plans coming up that they really need. They need this community support, and they need that fifth on the board. My race is going to be really crucial. It's going to be a difference between our board having to drag us kicking and screaming into the future, or if we're going to have a mandate to just get it done. We could get it done quickly within months with the right board in place. So I just want to invite everyone out there Thursday, Dr. Branfman's house. It's 405 Roseland Drive. His wife is going to be there making all the
407.
407.
407. Probably knowing Dr. B, he's got 405 through
Yeah,
409.
409.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's at the corner, the big one. There'll be signs all in the yard too. But we're just looking for a real good turnout. That's where I'm going to unveil everything that our big plan. We've really been working on it. There's a lot to unpack. So we really need to get y'all there so y'all can hear all of that. I look forward to coming back to the show and going through some of it.
Absolutely.
You guys
So
have
you don't
the
want me
2
to ask
hours.
you right now? Fighting for better schools through higher teacher salaries for a stronger VIS.
He can't tell you everything right now. He hasn't had the unveiling.
Well, no, we could talk any questions you have, but you guys don't have 2 hours. It's a detailed plan. We've got a lot of good things and a lot of bad things with VISD. Bringing them together is going to take a very comprehensive strategy to accomplish our goals, from building maintenance to teacher pay, teacher retention to absenteeism. All of these things kind of go hand in hand, and we do have a good strategic plan in place that we can kick off day one. None of that can happen without you guys out there and y'all's support in the community. We
Fantastic.
really need to get some involvement and get some butts in the seats.
We're promoting and really advocating for, through our state rep, Honorable AJ Louderback, House District 30, we're promoting the concept of school funding being based on enrollment and not attendance. Because I lose the connection that says that you as a second grade teacher are somehow not doing a good enough job just because little Billy doesn't come to school.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. So we're going to punish your school by withholding funding because little Billy doesn't come to school, when really they decriminalize truancy. So you can't do anything to little Billy's mom. It's a parental issue, right? How many times when you were a kid did one of your parents say, I know you're tired. I know you just got home from drama or the band deal or a basketball game, get up and go to school. And there's a lot of parents, too many parents. There's a lot of them. There's a bunch. I won that area. They leave in the morning and say, well, Billy, it's time to get up. And then they leave.
Yeah.
And maybe it's work, maybe it's necessity, but Billy doesn't go to school and the school suffers. Makes no sense to me.
Well, they get home from that game and they got 2 hours of homework waiting for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that the kids that are having the major absentee problems are the ones in band or the ones
They're
getting
not
all
the
homework
athletes, are they?
done.
That's right. That's right.
I do think you're correct. It starts at home, but there are things the school can do to ensure students are there.
Perfect.
Monica
Well, we're
Joe's
excited.
checking in. Sandra Helt, Mark Cepeda, Mark Angel. Good morning. David Glass.
A titillating teasing of things to come by Andy Rokovich. Thank you for
Yeah, we're
sharing
gonna have
that.
lots of charts, the whole plan out.
There's going to be charts.
Oh yeah.
Well, you're at the doctor's
Do
house.
you want me to bring them here?
Can we get pie graphs? How about
I want
lines?
a pie graph, and I want a trend line.
If you send us
right.
PDFs, we could probably get them on the
What is
screen
it,
to share for
the
people.
one that Kamala likes, the 3 circles.
Kamala.
Oh, yeah. What is
Yeah,
that thing
the
called?
Venn diagrams.
Oh,
yeah,
there-
we're gonna have plenty of Venn diagrams. We're gonna have a bar graph
have
showing
a
how many
bar?
pie charts we have.
So here's the deal. That's this Thursday, March 13th at 6 p.m. So you can go by and see Andy, get a taste of what's going on, and then meet us at Palace Bingo where friends meet friends.
First ball pops at
That's my
7:30.
7:30. So you got plenty of time.
Yeah, I plan on being there about 8ish. So we're going from 6.
Fantastic.
AR for VISD.
There you go. 407 Roseland Drive, Roseland Avenue.
Roseland Avenue. Yeah.
So
right-
feel free.
right
You can
across,
always
from
reach out
St.
to
Joe.
us. Oh, it's okay. Right there across from St. Joe.
Yeah, across the football field from St. Joe.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and there'll be signs, down Main.
Well, we say it every time. We don't endorse
Open
candidates,
house.
but at the very same time, we applaud everybody who puts their hat in the arena. Thank
Absolutely.
you. Obviously, your heart's in the right place because nobody runs for school board to be popular or to make money.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
Thank you for committing yourself.
Yeah, the payoff's down the road when they all end up on the board of these companies that produce our textbooks.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. If
Who
you
get
guys
it?
see me on a board, yeah,
Big check.
smack
Yeah, I
me.
can see Andy on a board. How's everything else?
Surfboard, maybe.
Yeah,
You feel-
Skateboard.
the Wade and Carter board.
Absolutely. The water board. You're on the water board at Gitmo.
Bobby Bueller
Nice.
checking in. Robert Howard. Good morning. Funky Trey Molina.
You got a good group listening this morning.
Good, and we are doing this for the kids for VISD. We got a lot of support this go around. A lot. I hope you guys can make it.
Yes.
You'll see the turnout and who's going to be involved in this. We're really pushing hard. We have a really good strategy.
Are you running opposed? Who are you running against?
I'm running against Margaret Pruitt. Our district has 900 votes for school board, had 13,000 votes for Donald Trump. I know where those 13,000 votes are, and we're going to be targeting them very, very strongly. We're going to need to get those people that are strong conservatives that don't typically vote in local elections out to vote. That's going to be our goal. But our message and what we're going to do and what we know we can do has to be said person to person. So that's why I'm really encouraging everyone to show up to these events. It won't be our only one.
Good.
That's going to be your best time to hear everything that's going to happen, everything that we're planning, everything that we want to get done for our children.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Well, we appreciate you coming by. So that's Andy Rokovich coming by to talk to us about what's going on, his
You can
plans.
learn more on Thursday evening, 6 o'clock, 407 Roseland Avenue.
There you go.
And then also at bingo, I'll be there too.
And
There
a
you
bingo.
go. We'll put that up. That lets you sneak back by without the camera being on you. And folks, we appreciate.
Oh, real quick. Come on back real quick.
Oh,
no.
no, the hot seat back
No.
on the
Yeah.
seat.
Real quick. Where's District 6? What is that? What areas of town does that encompass? So the people who may live in there, who've never voted, want to vote.
Okay, so it's kind of a Victoria's kind of got a donut around it. So District 7's around it. District 6 is basically centralized. It does shoot out towards Allo. So everything south central and everything going up towards about Mockingbird. It has part of Castle Hills. It has
What
Eagle
schools would be in the
Creek.
district? Would that be Roland Elementary?
Yeah, Roland.
Does it include the
neither of high
community center?
schools. Yes.
So wherever you go, take credit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, did you guys know I just closed that deal on the Amazon building?
There you
Nice.
and Amazon.
Yeah,
and
that was a
on
lot
the
of work, but
community
we got that
center.
done. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Brian Small says,
That's
can
a
dead
callback
people
right there,
vote?
buddy.
Only twice. Only twice can dead people vote. Yeah, fantastic.
All right.
Well, we look forward to seeing you. And there's your exit strategy.
guys.
Thank you.
And have a
Appreciate
great
that.
day. Hey, that's great. Andy's a committed young man doing good work. And as you know, we're always proud of our folks at Seek Election. That's wonderful stuff. Wonderful.
Lawrence Welk showed,
Lawrence
showed up.
Welk.
That's so cute. Y'all finish each
Tiny
other's
bubbles.
sandwiches.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we just after 8 years of doing this, the chemistry is undeniable. It's almost like the flu or something. You just brain implants. What is that right there?
I don't know. Doctors combining AI learning algorithm and brain computer interface to help paralyzed man control a robotic arm via thoughts.
Wow,
It's kind of cool.
that is cool.
Sad, but at least the Gene Hackman death and saga, that was, when it happened, a lot of people thought the worst. Apparently his wife died of hantavirus, which I don't know if he's ever had it, but I do know it's caused by rodent droppings and breathing that in. And it's, but apparently,
Well, which makes sense. He had been dead for a while, right?
no, she was dead
she
first.
did.
He had advanced Alzheimer's and may not have even realized.
I watched a special on him last night when he went to the, Pickett, the something school for performing arts, whatever. He and Dustin Hoffman met there. He and Dustin Hoffman voted least likely to succeed.
And I believe Gene Hackman actually was auditioned for the part of Mr. Robinson in The Graduate. Didn't get it.
Well,
Yeah.
they talked about that with his size and the fact that he wasn't classic Hollywood handsome and all that. He often played the heavy. It was when he played Popeye Boyle in The French Connection that has become one of the iconic movies of all time. Did Francis Ford Coppola do that movie?
I'd be lying.
Commander? I think that might have been a Coppola movie. I cannot be positive.
Johnny Houghton checking in. Johnny's going to be in the neighborhood next weekend.
But he was great. He stole the movie for me, The Firm. He just took it over. He's just Gene Hackman, bigger than life.
Stuart Martin says only dead Democrats can vote.
Right. Bigger than life. Shame to see anybody pass, but he had a long life. I mean, he's like, what is he, 88?
95 he was.
95.
Yeah. We'll maybe get a little bit more into this. Well, still got 4 minutes. I
We've
realize
got
that.
time.
What do you
4
make of
minutes.
the short-term spending bill that they're trying to approve by March 4? Here we are again, folks. We're 4 days away from the government shutting down.
I can't wait. Let it shut down.
We finally get to a point where they want to talk about this, right? 5 days over the weekend, the short-term spending bill to get us through September. Apparently, President Trump is in favor of this. It's got a continuing resolution, debt ceiling increase.
I don't understand that. We've talked about if you're going to cut $1 trillion here and $1 trillion there, why you only got a $7 trillion budget? Why are you having to increase the debt ceiling? If you're getting rid of all this spending, but the money's still there, why do you have to raise the debt ceiling? And by the way, I'm pleading ignorance. I'm sure there's a reason because it doesn't appear that Republicans nor Democrats are grossly against this increase.
No.
So I realize that I'm asking a question, hopefully for you folks, that I'm asking in ignorance.
What would Republicans say? It'll increase funding for veterans, healthcare, and housing. It'll increase pay for junior enlisted military personnel. Will fund the Federal Supplemental Nutrition Program for Women, Infants, and Children, or WIC. Overall funding for non-defense programs would decrease by about $13 billion below fiscal 2024 levels.
It used to be that saving double-digit billions mattered. We're all numb to it. We're all numb to the billion. It's just $1 billion. We're all numb to it. It's crazy.
What are they saying? One of the top Dems on the House Appropriations Committee says that the Republicans will zero out the Toxic Exposures Fund.
The burn pit guys.
Yeah.
I've never understood that. I don't understand why. First of all, I don't understand why our veterans don't get perpetual health care forever. You serve your 2 years, fine. You can go to the VA forever. It's a volunteer army, people. If I volunteer to go to keep you safe, I've got no problem giving those people free health care forever on the tax dollar. None, no problem whatsoever.
I think the government's afraid of maybe a lawsuit. If they say, but I mean, yeah, you don't have to admit to anything. Just fund their health care.
Right. Absolutely. And being around a burn pit, somewhat a hazard of being deployed overseas in a war zone, and things happen. I mean,
Anybody? Well, yeah, but I mean, does the government fund the health care for burn pit exposure for our farmers and ranchers who burn all the time to clear brush and other debris?
What do you know about this South Korean president Yoon Suk Yeol, released from say it, Cody?
I don't have any idea.
That's it.
It's funny.
Yoon Suk Yeol. He's
Listen
being
to this-
released
yeah.
ahead of his impeachment trial. He was arrested following a December attempt to impose martial law, which I guess was him saying, you can't vote me out. You can't do anything but what I tell you because I'm using martial
Yeah,
law.
remember he said, I imposed martial law, and then like 6 hours later,
He decided not to,
the
didn't
South
he?
Korean government said, there's no martial law.
Right. Is that him there?
Yeah. Says he's been wrongly persecuted. You declared martial law.
Yeah. Didn't need to. Apparently
I didn't think so,
they're
but yeah.
irritated with him.
So, yeah, they arrested him as a result, and now he's going to go to court, and this country's been in a little bit of turmoil. I don't know. This one's interesting.
Well,
I don't know. I
Yeah.
guess we're out of here. It's already, look at that.
Gene Hackman in Young Frankenstein. What he goes, I was going to make a, what does he say? What's the line? He was blind. Remember, he was like a monk or something. I was going to make something like an espresso, but that's not what he said.
Randy Langston says, according to Randy Quaid, the Star Whackers got to Gene Hackman.
Right.
Yeah,
Folks,
because
it's
they needed to whack a 95-year-old actor who's been a
That's
recluse in the mountains of Santa Fe, New Mexico, right?
It's the top of the hour, folks. We love you guys. Happy Monday. Go win the week. You can't win them all if you don't win Monday.
Bye, folks.
Bye, folks.
Free far around.